Contract. Tomorrow is that day, the last day, I should say. Rex, do you like Mike to come back as the Cowboys coach next year?
I do not. I've been saying it. When expectations are Super Bowl and you don't even make the playoffs, I think that's I don't care. Injuries, whatever, everybody has them. Yeah. No, I don't want to hear it. I think he's out.
This should have been done by now, Rex, right?
Well,
you're gonna let him go where he can negotiate with other teams, and you've been holding him off from Chicago. And I understand business in terms of keeping all your options open while you got him under contract, but pretty soon McCarthy's going to say, listen, I got to worry about myself and my family, and where am I going to go to for next year?
I just think, the defense clearly needs to be replaced. That needs to be overhauled and things. I think they start anew. They go out and look for a new coach.
Then they should let him go. They should have let him go last week. He's got his job, assistant coaches, all these people whose livelihoods sort of hang in the balance. It feels like Jerry Jones has someone in the back of his mind. Who knows if behind, the scenes, those conversations are taking place. Okay, last one in our game of Who Likes Mike. Damien Woody, I'm coming directly to you because this is the question everyone around the league has been asking since Saturday night. Mike Tomlin has been the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers for 18 years. This season ended in extremely disappointing fashion. Do you like Mike to return for another season in Pittsburgh?
I think it's time. I think it's time for the Pittsburgh Steelers to move in a different direction.
Oof.
I don't say that lightly because I love Mike Tomlin. I love what he stands for. I love the mentality that he brings. But Mike Tomlin, who's a magician, an orator, a word magician, one of his things he always says, the standard is the standard. Well, what is the standard in Pittsburgh right now? The standard right now is, we're talking about a guy, Mike Tomlin, who's the only Super Bowl winning coach to lose 6 straight playoff games.
Yes.
6 straight one-and-dones. Is that the standard of the Pittsburgh Steelers? The Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the few blue chip franchises that we have in our league. They are about championships, not backdooring, getting into the playoffs and then, losing and you're back home again. That's not Pittsburgh. Okay? So I don't want to hear about quarterback. I don't want to hear about offensive systems. Okay? There's a bigger problem in the Steelers organization right now. There's a bigger problem. And again, I can have affinity towards Mike Tomlin, but also at the same breath understand that sometimes things run its course. We've seen it with Andy Reid in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Andy Reid was tremendous. Took multiple quarterbacks to Super Bowl, had all types of success with the Philadelphia Eagles. But it ran its course. And he moved on to the Kansas City Chiefs, and the rest is history. Going to be considered one of the best coaches ever to coach in the National Football League. Right now, in my opinion, it's time for the Pittsburgh Steelers to move on.
Just real quick on that. I'm with you in terms of like the voice in 18 years, and it's been a while. And Mike Tomlin coached with his gut this year in terms of, from talking about the quarterback position with Justin Fields. Okay, I got Pickens. I got to bring in Russell Wilson. So his gut, I wonder if his gut tells him the same thing. That it's time for me to move on because are we going to get me a quarterback that I can win another championship with? It's strange. We go from Jerry Jones, who's waiting, and then Mike Tomlin, who's I don't know what this is, but I don't know. I'm not trying to put two and two together here, but where does he want to be? That's the thing too. Because he knows also. I got to think that he thinks this could be time himself.
Bro, here's the thing. You're in the same division with Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. Mike Tomlin has to be like banging his head knowing that I got to continue to deal with this, knowing that I don't have a quarterback. It's just so hard to win when you're going up against that every single year in the AFC North, Rex.
So to redo what you just did this year, you're probably going to have the same result.
But I'll say this. Number one, I disagree with you guys. I think he needs to stay. All right. He has a no trade clause, so he's going to have to you guys' point, that he's going to have to choose, I'd rather be at this place or whatever. But are you kidding me? Like, to me, here's what the standard is not lived up to. Pittsburgh has never been about their offense. Pittsburgh has always been about their defense. The defense, they're not living up to the standard. And at some point, I know Mike Tomlin's the most loyal guy of all time. At some point, you got to change the defense. You got to change the scheme on the defense. T.J. Watt's one of the best players in the league. You know how many tackles he had in that game? He had zero.
Yeah. As a rookie from Washington that was clamping him up.
Absolutely, and then doubling him and all that type of stuff. You have to. You got to take a deep dive. Look, you've been getting crushed. In your playoff games, you're basically giving up damn near 40 points a game in that 6-game losing streak and about 450 yards. That ain't cutting it. I don't see no L.C. Greenwood or Joe Green out there or Jack Lambert or anybody else. The history of that franchise is built on defense. That needs to be where the priority is.
And as good as T.J. Watt is, 0 playoff victories for T.J. Watt.
There you go.
I mean, you put it on quarterbacks, but there's one of the best defensive players that have been playing football.
You just gave up 300 yards rushing.
Yeah.
I'm going to lodge one more objection. I'm not here to blanketly defend Mike Tomlin. I'm saying if you look at the players on that team, and in particular who his quarterbacks were this year, you show me who was taking them further than they just went.
Yeah,
I'm not doubting that.
You're not.
But I'm not doubting that. I'm not doubting
Me either.
the coaching job that Mike Tomlin did this year with what he was working with at the quarterback position. My issue, my thing is, what is the standard in Pittsburgh? We can't let go of that. For too long, Mike Tomlin hasn't had a playoff win since 2015. The Pittsburgh Steelers hasn't had a playoff win since 2015. We are in 2025. Okay? Come on. Hello. What are we talking here?
There's a lot of great coaches in the past that have also known when it's time to move on. And great coaches move on to other franchises. And does Mike T think it's time?
If he decides he thinks it's time, I'm good with that. What I'm saying is if they decide they could do better than him, be real careful what you wish for.
22 interceptions. And everybody wanted to ignore that. No, you don't ignore it. And to me, that's the biggest thing. My thing is, I gave the Packers a chance in this game, all right, on one condition. They give the ball to Jacobs 30 times.
You said
he did nothing. Those linebackers are not even giving them the ball. We're just playing pass. We're staying deep in our zones.
Can I make an objection? Someone tell me if this objection will be sustained, okay? Jordan Love, as that game is going on, his offensive line is getting dominated. His best offensive lineman gets knocked out early. He has got pressure in his face the second the ball is snapped, it feels like on every play. And his receivers dropping like flies, one after another. He's already playing without Watson. His next 2 receivers that you've heard of, Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed, both get hurt in the game. By the end of the game, I do the football show for us. He's throwing the ball to people I've never heard of by the end of that game. Is there no excuse to be made for what was going on around Jordan Love yesterday?
Well, the only excuse is you can tell the teams that they will eventually have to get through, they aren't tough enough to beat. I will say that, okay? Listen, there's some, Jacobs had went down, and then the receivers are going down, so they've been beat up so much. This is a play that's not on Jordan Love there. That should have been completed right there. There are also decisions, Greeny, where, like the Bond play, there's no pressure there. It's just, I think that's why that was such a definition for me that's your true self, that's a defender in a linebacker. No.
Yeah, I like what Green Bay did in the offseason. They brought in Josh Jacobs. They know they have to be more physical. And yet, at the biggest moment, what did they do? They went back to who they are, which is a finesse football team. And anytime you face a good physical team, you're going to get beat.
Xin chào tất cả các bạn, mình lại quay lại đây. Video ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tô màu những sản phẩm này đây. Các bạn hãy xem thật kỹ nha. Đây là những sản phẩm mình chưa tô. Những sản phẩm mình tô màu xong thì chắc chắn nó sẽ rất chi là đẹp. Tại vì mình có hộp sam màu này. Sam màu này của mình nó giúp mình tô màu rất chi là đẹp luôn. Và bây giờ các bạn cùng theo dõi mình tô màu những sản phẩm nha. Hẹn gặp lại các bạn.
Bây giờ sẽ tiếp tô màu nha các bạn.
Mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm màu tay hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là mũi vĩ. Các bạn hôm nay vòng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là béo phì. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nhá. Khổ quá. Mình chọn một tiếng đầu tiên nha mọi người. Mọi người đây một tím đây, một tím của mình đây. Tiếp đến sẽ là màu vàng. Màu vàng đây nha. Tiếp đến sẽ là mình chọn màu đỏ nha. Mọi người màu đỏ đây nha. Tiếp đến là màu hồng nha. Mọi người màu hồng đây. Tiếp đến là màu cam nhé. Cam đây nha. Mình kết vòng rồi, bây giờ mình trang trí vòng.